Hey guys, Balkan Architect here, and in this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to create sheets in Revit, custom sheets that you can kind of modify to represent your firm or just as a student to represent things you need to have on your sheet and to write down everything like the project name, project location, client name, architect name, as well as to place your firm's or your private logo. And then I'm going to show you how to place all of your views, your floor plans, your 3D views, your elevations or sections on that sheet and how to export it to PDF. But before I get started, I would just like to ask you to like this tutorial, it helps me out a lot. And if you haven't already, I suggest you subscribe because I make videos like this every day. Okay, so let's get started. Here I am in Revit, and here I have opened this container home, shipping container home project that I did a while back. So if you're interested in how I built this model, or how I modeled this lovely beach scene on which this house is placed, the links to those two tutorials are in the description of this video. Okay, so let's get started. Here I am, and now I'm here in the project browser. And on here we have this sheets option, and if you double click it you get nothing. You have to right click it and then you get this option of a new sheet, and you have only this A1 metric, or if you have an imperial template you probably have some imperial sheet size, and then you have this load button. So if you're not okay with this A1 metric or whichever Revit offers you, you can go here to load. And then you can go here and find title blocks and then select one of these. And these are the imperial ones, and if I go a couple of folders back I can go into metric and get all the metric paper sizes. But let's say we don't want to use one of these title blocks that Revit offers us. They don't have everything that we want, they're kind of generic title blocks, so let's create one of our own. So I'm just going to cancel out of this and out of this as well. Go here to the File menu and go to New, open up the drop menu and go to Family. Now here I'm going to drop a folder back just to have the metric title block family, and if you want to use the imperial just go ahead and use the imperial. So I'm just going to double click here on title blocks, and here we have these kind of generic sizes A0, A1, A2, A3 and A4. But let's say you have some particular size of sheet of paper that you want to use that is not one of these that are offered. Here you have this new size metric. So I'm just going to double click that one, and let's say I want to create my own custom paper size. And my Revit teacher at my school prefers using 500 by 500 millimeters paper size for all of our exams, for kind of the final presentation. So I'm just going to show you how to create one of those. So here I'm just going to type in 500 by 500, and I'm just going to move these dimension lines a bit on the outside because I don't want them kind of interrupting everything. And when you're creating your sheet you have this here thin lines option, and I like to keep it off because you really want to see in scale how would this look like. When you're working kind of on your 3D or your floor plans, maybe that can be helpful, but here I think it's really necessary to keep the thin lines option off. So anyway, let's start creating our title blocks. So I'm just going to go here to create, and you have some options over here. You can use symbols, detail groups, masking regions. I'm going to just be creating a generic type. So I'm just going to go with a rectangle, give it an offset of 5 millimeters. This is what we usually use. And then I'm just going to go corner to corner, hit the space bar to kind of invert it to go on the inside. And then over here I'm going to give it an offset of 20 millimeters. That's what's usually left if you want to kind of just puncture a bunch of holes over here and then make kind of a notebook style presentation. So if you have multiple sheets kind of tied together. But anyway, so I'm just going to continue on, and here I want to place my firm's logo, or basically my YouTube channel's logo. I don't really have a firm. So I'm going to go here to Insert, and we have this image option. So I'm going to click on that, and let's just go to Desktop, and here I have BA or Balkan Architect logo, and this is my cool new logo, so just tell me how you like it. Okay, so I'm just going to scale it, make it a bit smaller, but I still want to keep it quite large because I like my logo to be seen by everyone. And so I'm just going to place it over here, and then you can use kind of the arrow keys just to keep it in place. And I'm going to place it here, select it, type in MV for move, and I'm going to move it by 5 millimeters here, and then again MV for move, and move it up by 5 millimeters, so it's kind of the same offset I have over here. And then the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select this line and copy it upward. So I'm just going to copy it over here, kind of place it on the edge over here, and then I'm just going to move it up by 5 millimeters to have that offset. Okay, so once I have this, I can then move this line out of the way for a second, and it's going to unjoin elements, I don't care, and then let's go create a line, arc, and I'm just going to be placing an arc here, going from here to here, and place it kind of like so. Okay, and then I'm going to move this here and move this here. I want to have this interesting creative title block. And then I'm going to place this over here, so it's kind of continuing from there on. And then here I'm going to have all of my text, so let me just copy this and make sure to select multiple, and let's copy it down by the value of, I don't know, 8 millimeters. So let's do it once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's leave it at 7. Okay, and then you can see here it's kind of messed up, so I'm just going to select this line and move it out of the way till we get this point where it kind of finishes this line. So I'm going to do the same thing for all of these, so I kind of get this effect where the lines are kind of ending where the imaginary circle would be. I think that looks quite cool. So let me just finish that. And it's always nice to have a creative title block. At least that's what I believe. So now I'm going to go to create and use the text option, or you can use the shortcut TX. So just type in TX and you have your text option. And here we only have this 8mm and 12mm type. Now I think that's quite too large, especially for this part of the project where you kind of have to have some smaller, not that significant text. So I'm just going to use the 8mm, go into edit type, and here I'm going to go duplicate, and let me delete this number 2, and let's change this to 3mm text. And here I'm going to change the text size to 3mm, and for this tab size let's do 8, or no, let's do 5. Okay, and let's leave it at Arial, or you can change it, yeah, let's actually change it to Century Gothic when I'm here. I always use Century Gothic, I don't know, that's just what I prefer. And you can make it bold if that's something that you want. So just go OK, and you just place one line over here, and you can type something in. So let's type in something like project name, and then just a couple of dots. So you just go finish and place it basically where you want to have it. Then I'm just going to select this, go copy, and let's copy it down a few times. Make sure that multiple is checked over here. So let's just copy it down like that. Let's rename this one to client. And you just double click and let's rename this to location. And I'm going to rename this to, I don't know, something like date. Here we can place perhaps, well, let's just type in Balkan Architect. Or let's do just Architect. And here we can do this, maybe, I don't know, like BIM Manager. This channel is all about BIM, so why not? And then I'm just going to go copy it just a couple of more times over here and over here. And here I'm just going to type in Balkan Architect. And let's make it incorporated. And here let's just leave this area for some project notes. So if you have some notes, this is the place where you would be typing them. Okay, so we have this, but now where would you add the text later on? Now remember, you're doing this as kind of as a BIM manager, so you need to make this title block so every other architect in your firm, or just your friends if you're using this for some school project, can use this template. So what you're going to do is you're going to go here to create, and instead of text for basically a place to type in text, you're going to go with a label. Now that's a bit different, and let's just change this again from 8mm to 5. So just duplicate and repeat the process. Change this to, no, actually 3mm, yeah, no, not 5. Yeah, this changed to 3, this to 5. Yeah, I'm not really good with numbers. Okay. And I'm not going to make it bold. And here for the alignment, I'm just going to leave it at this. So, and you just kind of select anywhere on the screen, and now you have this option, these options. So first, we're using this for, let's say, project name. So you just kind of scroll down and you have this building name. So you just kind of place it here, go apply, okay. And now this is a building name and it's aligned here to the right. So you just kind of take it and place it wherever you want to have your building name. So this is project name, and here we have building name. Now we're going to go to create, label, click again, and this is the client. So we have this client name, go OK, let's click again. What's next? Project location, let's see. Okay, we have project address, that's close enough. Just go OK, click again. Then we have date. Do we have something for date over here? Yeah, we have date timestamp. Sure, why not? Then we have, let's click again, architect. That would be, do we have designed by? Yeah, let's keep that one. Okay, designed by. What else do we have? We have BIM manager. Let's leave that as author, or checked by, yeah, even better. So go OK, and then let's, for project notes, we're just going to leave that empty, and I'm going to show how you use this in the project later on. So let's place the client name over here, kind of like that, and Revit helps you align everything. So you place project location here, date here, checked by, or no, checked by is here, designer is here, and for Balkan Architect Inc. we don't really need anything, and project notes, let's leave that as is. Okay, so let's say this is a title block that we're quite satisfied with, so I'm just going to go here to save, and let's just save it to desktop as title block. Probably messed up the spelling, but who cares? And let's type in BA for Balkan Architect and save. And one more thing before I go to the next step. Here you can see this image is a rectangle, but these edges, we don't see them. That's because I created this as a PNG image. So basically you can have some transparency. So if you're creating your logo or whatever, make sure to save it as PNG so you can have these transparent parts. And if it's just a rectangular image, then you can just save it as a JPEG. Okay, that's just one thing that I wanted to mention. So let's go back into this project, and here I'm going to go to Sheets, select here, right click, New Sheet, let's go Load, Desktop, and here we have Balkan Architect title block. Open it up, just hit OK, and there you go. So we have our title block over here. Now how do we place all of our views over here? So what you're going to do is you're going to select one view and just kinda stretch it over here, and this is way too big, as you can see. So how do we fix this? Let me go into level 1, and here if we scroll down through the properties panel, we have this crop view region visible. This is basically to have an outline where the view is cropped, and if I check this, it will automatically check this. So let's kind of two birds with one stone situation. And then you just kind of make this whole thing a bit smaller, just to encompass the whole building. And let's add a section perhaps, why not? So let's do a section over here, that's nice. And yeah, so we have that, and scale can be set over here, so you just change the scale over here, or you can go to custom and have perhaps a custom scale, so you just type in your scale over here. But anyway, let's go back here into sheets, and now as you can see this is a lot smaller, and you can select this and you can have this no title, or maybe you can have some title line, and here's the title line, so it's kind of far off, so you can either move it around, or what I suggest you do, you just delete the whole view and then load it in again, and it will be kind of trimmed down to the size. So the next thing you need to do is this ugly outline over here, this crop view, we don't really want to see that. So let's just go here, scroll down and uncheck this part, but you need to check it just to place it, but once it's placed you can uncheck it. And once this is finished, if we go here, we don't see that outline. And if you want to turn off this level 1, you can just select it and uncheck this line, or you can even uncheck the whole title. But I like to see it, so I'm just going to leave it on. Okay, so we have our floor plan. Now let's add our sections. So we created a new section. Let's open this sections up. So we have this section. Let's make this kind of like that. 1 to 100, that's okay. Just go here, drop it on, and let's place it, I don't know, over here. So we have our section, and let's put in a 3D view. So I'm just going to kind of place this over here, and there we go. But if you want to create this 3D view and change its size, to do that you just go here, and this is just if you have a perspective 3D view. If you have just a regular, you can just change the scale over here. But if you have a perspective view, you need to kind of select the outline, go to crop size, and then here you can just make sure you select this scale. You can actually change the scale. So let me change the width to 300, and this will just lock the proportions. So when I go OK, this is now a bit larger. And then just to get rid of this ugly outline, just scroll down and find this crop region visible, uncheck it, apply, and now we can see this ugly outline. And if we go back into this sheet over here, you can see this looks a lot better. So let's leave it at that. And as you can see now, because we made it a bit larger later on, this is kind of messed up again. So I'm just going to delete this whole view and then re-enter it again. Now it looks better. And let's place maybe one of these. And because this elevation is too large, we need to kind of go into our south elevation and just check this crop region. Yeah, this is now checked, and let's make it a bit smaller. So let's create it like that. Yeah, I like this quite a lot right now, so let's make it smaller and uncheck it so we don't see it. So okay, go here, south elevation, okay, it's fixed now, but again we have this ugly line, so delete, and then, oops, delete and load in again. Okay, so we have all of our elements. We can maybe move this a bit up. So we have all of our elements set over here. Now it's time to export this as a PDF so we can take it to the printers. And if you have a printer in your office, then, well, you're quite lucky, I guess. So let's go here to File, Export, and no, not actually export, you go to Print. I know, maybe it doesn't make sense, you want to export a PDF, but you actually go to Print. And you go here to Print, and you make sure you check Adobe PDF, and then you go here and you browse where you want to save it. So let's save it at desktop. Okay, and for properties, for this, let's just, you can see this is like the page standard or the page size, and we can't really use this one, so I'm just going to add a new one, and let's call it 500 paper, and let's change this to 500 by 500. and I typed in here 600. Okay, so just go add modify. Let's search here for my new 500 paper. There it is. Just type in OK, and then you just go here for this. I've already changed. Go to setup, and here you change the letter to 500 paper. Where is it? Here it is. OK, and you just go OK, and you just go OK again, I guess. And again, you need to make sure you check where you want to save it. Let's just type in container house, home, maybe even better. Go OK, and then you get this little dialog over here that shows you that it's kind of doing something, I guess. And it takes a while, and sometimes it will stop and it wouldn't work, so you have to just redo the whole exporting process. Like now it stopped, so let's go again. Print. So let's leave everything as is. And now it's done it. So if I just minimize this, here we have our sheet. Let me cancel out all of this, and there you go. So we have our cool little title block with all of our elements in Revit. Okay, so I hope you have learned something today. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share this video, and if you have any questions, comments or suggestions for future tutorials, please leave them in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.